My name is Zebo. I play full-back. It usually involves me running a lot, scoring tries. It's good fun when we have the ball, not so much when we don't. The strength and conditioning side is massive. It's a long old season. From week to week, it's very important to try and build momentum as opposed to peaking too early. So we generally try and build throughout the season with the aim of challenging for trophies come May. So that's when we're usually at our peak fitness. So the strength and conditioning staff are excellent in terms of different programs for different people and being very position aware of the strengths that some people need.
So the strength program itself is planned to follow the way the season works. So as you can rightly assume, we have critical games, those European games, high-stake derby games against other teams in Ireland. Those particular games, our program tends to match those. So as we move from pre-season, where we have a lot of time in our hands and there's no pressure of games, we tend to focus a lot on maximal strength development. And then as we step into the in-season part of the year, we look at moving the program then to more power focus. And that helps then when we get to Europe, that we are really at maximal power development for all our players. Because it's for power, there's less demand on them from raw strength and it doesn't fatigue you as much. It gives us more chance to recover well for the games that are important and critical for that time of year. With Zeb's, his main focus as a back three and someone who's exceptionally quick, we tend to give him a lot more power-based exercises. He really comes to the fore when those exercises are there. So for us, it's giving him the minimum needs that he gets within the gym setting here, and then the maximum amount of exposure that he can get on the pitch to produce the best results for him. As a player, he'd probably admit himself, he's not a gym-based orientated player. He's flair-based. He loves being on the pitch much more than what he'd like being in here. And as an S&C coach, that's really important for me to know because I need to tailor my demand for him and what I perceive that he needs to do and what my expectations of him are in here to match what I also expect of him on the pitch.
I'm probably not the best to talk about it, but the work is very important. You notice it though if you're feeling good after a good week's work in the gym or if you're feeling fresh. You notice that extra yard of pace. If you're feeling sluggish, you mightn't get through the gap that appears on a weekend. So it's the small details we would notice as players, so we try and get those extra inches as much as possible. For me specifically, I suppose, yeah, it can be tough. I enjoy being out on the pitch. The gym sometimes can be, repetitive, I suppose, is the only way I'd say it, but it's all for our players' benefit. So in between sets, I might be dancing around the gym a little bit, but yeah, I usually try not to get too distracted and enjoy myself as much as possible. There's great camaraderie in the team. There's a lot of taking the mick out of each other, so any chance you can get to get one up on one of the lads is a chance you must take, especially the heavy guys, all the big forwards. It's usually kind of forwards versus backs, so we try to pick on the forwards as much as possible.
It's imperative to our game plan that we have our players that are properly conditioned to play the way we want them to be able to play. From a forwards coach point of view, set piece is obviously going to be huge for us, so to have the players just literally big enough, but then you have to combine that with being able to move around the field and be athletic enough to get off the ground quickly in the line out, to be able to contest line out. So it's getting the balance between having them big enough to play the games, when the game becomes attritional, and then having them athletic enough that they can take opportunities when they're there in open play and being explosive.
Make sure he has the leg drive through to the 5 metre here, okay? When you're ready.
It'll be a bit different, some of the forwards and the stronger guys, they probably have more of a strength-orientated program, doing all the heavy lifting and lifting in the line-outs and scrummaging, and for the backs it's more speed, power-based, so we do a lot of concentric squats and counter-movement jumps and a lot of power stuff so that our speed can be very quick and powerful and strong.
The players spend more time with the S&C coaches than they do with anyone else when they're in the club. So I think the S&C coaches really set the tone for them in terms of the work ethic and the culture that's in the club. And I think that for a lot of the players, their ability to go to a dark place when they're in really, really tough conditioning sessions gives them confidence then when they go on the field, and gives us confidence as coaches that no matter how intense the games become, we know that our players can handle it. And then I suppose on the other side is just the players' mental preparation, that they know, listen, I am physically able now, I've got to be mentally prepared to go to that dark place. I've done it in training with my S&C coaches. We've integrated a lot of the rugby into that as well, so it's not just fitness, it's not just rugby, we try and combine the two. And I think when you get to that level and you can bring that intensity in training every single week, the players are far better prepared and is much more confident than when they go to the field.
Hopes for myself are to play as much as possible and stay injury free. Touch wood, I've been lucky last season, I didn't have too many knocks, but if I'm on the pitch I'm enjoying myself and I'm happy, so that's objective number one for me. And number two is for the team, is that we push an extra step further than what we did last year, and that's to reach 2 finals. That's the targets we set ourselves and where we'd hopefully want to be come May, so fingers crossed we can add to our trophy cabinet.